Okay guys, this is a coaching session for Just Rage, the Rakan in this game. This is an Iron 3 game, I believe. So it's Ashe, Rakan going against Pyke, Kaiser. That's a shame I can't move these portraits around. Oh, there we go. Fixed. So against Pyke and Kaiser. Now Pyke's laning phase is pretty meh. I would probably go blue starting item here. On Rakan, usually you have to think about whether to go coin or blue. If you have to go defensive here in lane, you go coin, which does feel bad, but is necessary to make sure you get the gold income. The blue can be used here because you should be able to get some auto attacks off here on the Pyke. It won't matter too much if you do get hooked because you can just E-dash away anyway. Kaiser's burst will be annoying if you do get locked down though, so just try not to get locked down and you should be okay. Hopefully Ashe does some decent harassment in lane. You always start coin. I think going coin is fine every game if you really feel like you have to, but sometimes you should think about going blue. I think this game I personally would have taken blue, but also once again, don't level up your ability level 1 until you know exactly what's happening here. Like if they somehow if you get caught out here, especially this kind of deep into the river at level 1, and you have no escape here because you've already leveled up your Q. Like that, for example, that could have been really bad if they knew you were in that brush and to set up kind of thing. So try not to level up your ability until you 100% know that you don't need it. If that makes sense. Okay, so you know the jungler just flashed, so that helps out you a lot during this laning phase already. And you don't need to pull for jungler here either, which is also nice. Okay, so your Ashe has opted to push in this level 1. Good Q there. If you had blue there, you would have done one or two auto attacks onto the Pyke there as well. Nice W engaged there. It's a shame the Ashe wasn't close enough to actually follow that up with you. There's not a whole lot you can do here. Like if you did have blue, you could have got quite a few auto hits here on the Pyke. You're taking a lot of free damage there from the Kaiser. Just one more auto there from the Kaiser on you with a W would have been a lot of extra damage here. Hold on, I need to watch this. This is a big mess. So Pyke's edging up to you here. You missed your Q. And you're kind of like walking back into the Kaiser, so she's free trading you right now. Okay. Okay, let's go back. What you should be doing here is that you should be respecting that the fact that Pyke can come in here. But you also have W as well ready. Like I personally would just W this Pyke here right now. Just W on his face and just throw out an easy Q there because then he's CC'd. And auto attack during that time there as well. And after you've done that, then start heading back into your lane. Because this Ashe is also mega caught out here. I personally feel like you should have died here really. Kind of lucky to be alive. There's not too much you can do under this tower right now. The only thing you can kind of do is try and set up CS kills for your Ashe. Like you want to hit those caster minions one time when they're full HP so you can help her CS. So that one here needs hitting one time. Yeah. So you need to try and help your AD carry CS under tower a little bit there as well. Okay. Now your Ashe just got fully engaged on. You do have level 3, so you have your E. So you need to engage on the Kaiser and then retreat you back to the Ashe. Yeah, there's no point. When an engaged support has done everything, there's nothing else that they can do. The only thing that's going to come up is their AD carry is just going to follow up. So you need to engage on the Kaiser, disengage the situation here. And then you... So W Kaiser, EO back over... Well, W Kaiser, if you're able to Q her. If you can't, then E back. So it's either like WQE or WE and then try and get a heal off here again and then shield her again eventually. Because if the Kaiser was quicker up there, she would have been able to follow up quite a bit of damage there. So against any engaged supports, you want to engage. If they do engage your AD carry, you need to counter engage on their AD carry. Because once they've used their cooldowns, there's nothing they can do. Like Pyke's auto attacks at this point to like 40 or something ridiculously low. He's no threat after he's done everything. Okay. Yeah, you can't engage here at all. You're quite low on mana here as well. Best thing you can do here is like auto attacks on the Pyke, and then if for whatever reason your Ashe was to get CC'd, then you would want to like W to Kaiser and then E back to Ashe. Yeah, so you're on the back foot like massively here. I think you said, are you duo of this Ashe as well? Because there isn't, you're not? Okay, never mind. Okay, right. Here's the majestic bit of coming. If you're doing really bad in lane and you've had to come back in. So your job right now is to keep them in the lane as long as possible. So yes, their bot lane has been doing better and has more CS and stuff. But now you're the only person in this lane with full resources. Your Ashe has low resources. Their Pyke and their Kaiser have low, like Kaiser has no mana and Pyke's half HP. So your job right now as a support is to keep them in lane as long as possible. Delay their recalls as long as possible so that the deficit doesn't show until they buy. So if you see that they try and recall by pushing in hard, then you want to come out and then interrupt their recalls at this point. You can do that pretty safely as well as Rakan. Also notice you bought 4 health potions in lane. That's a little bit overkill. You really want to be coming back in lane with 4 health potions. In fact, you should have had a control ward. Or is that your control? That would be your control ward. So just don't let them recall. Just do your best to land Qs on the enemy. What are you leveling up here? You got 3 points in Q. I think if you're not going blue, don't put points in Q. I think you have to max W now with his nerfed rate. Max W, then E, then Q. I don't think you can max Q this patch. Okay. What just happened there? So yes, Pyke's hook's now on cooldown. Ashe has no resources here though. Just like bash him up a bit. You don't have to like go crazy here. I would say don't use your W. Walk up to him, use your Q, couple of auto attacks. Save your W though in case the Kaiser comes flying in, because that's the only thing here that would defend the Ashe away from the Kaiser. I would say hold onto your W there. Just keep them in the lane as long as possible. You're going around warding. I think this dragon call's fine. Okay, okay, right. First up, hold up. If you are helping in this situation, please bear in mind Mountain Drake and an Infernal Drake both have cleave attacks. There's no reason for you to be getting chunked down here at all. In fact, Shyvana can solo this, so you're only here for protection against the Rengar. You're getting chunked down by this Infernal Drake for literally no reason. You almost nearly died to it. So yeah, you should be full HP in a situation here when you're coming back into lane, not on 10% HP. So yeah, Infernal, Mountain Drake do cleave attacks. Make sure you stand to their flanks or behind them. There's no need for you to take all that damage, but when coming back into this lane right now. Nice that you guys got the dragon. Kind of surprised the enemy that you have that. Ashe has arrow now, but you don't want to actually go full ham here. You just want to take it easy. If Shyvana does choose to come down and gank, then you need to be ready for that. But you want to wait until you've got XP disadvantage. So you don't want to instigate a fight until at least you're level 6. If you're able to stop them recalling, the longer, the better. I think it would be worth it just like having a little sniff around, like just queuing the brush and things like that to see if they are around or recalling it, because it would tell you two things of information. Either that they are recalling and that you get the interrupt, or if you queue this brush and then not in there, then so either they're in that brush and they're recalling, you're going to interrupt them so it forces them to stay in the lane or miss even more CS in the lane. Or if they're not in the brush, then it means you know immediately that you need to push in the lane as quickly as possible to deny them XP so that your Ashe can recall here. So you need to know that piece of information quickly here. Right, now this lane is pushed in really badly because of that as well. There's 8 red minions here and 6 blue minions. So this lane is slowly going to push down this way. And it could cause you issues coming up here as well, where you're going to both be overextended in the lane here. And hey Twitch chat, by the way, sorry I can't really talk to you guys properly. Okay, you're lucky that the Kai's are shoving it back in straight away. Yeah, I think a lot of dance stuff in the river. You bought Moby Boots and tier 2 coin, that's fine. That's good, good, good. You want to start thinking about opportunities to roam to other lanes as well. Currently there's a fight going on mid. Okay, I think in these situations here, if the Kai's okay, that's actually a decent arrow. You're not following up on it though. Whoa, 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 whoa! You not got ult? Wait. Okay, so that's a decent Ashe arrow here. Straight away, right here, you need to throw down Ignite as quickly as possible to mitigate the high heal. So if you can reduce the heal impact here by 50%, you need to do that. So just whack on Ignite straight away here. Now, it's okay to wait until the half the duration's left on the stun before then you go in, but you need to pop up your ulti and just go W in straight away here, and then land your Q and bash them down a little bit. I mean, the fact that they haven't respected this at all. So basically there's no Ignite on there, so the full heal amount got off there. For whatever reason, they let you engage on after the stun duration had run out. And you haven't popped your ulti here. So they're just going to be able to walk away from this situation here. And Pyke's allowed to just stun you at that point. I mean, you could maybe get the kill here still with the Ignite and Q. You used your Ignite now earlier. You really should have just used your ulti in that situation under tower. Because then you could have brought them up nearer towards your tower there as well. You definitely would have liked to see you use your ulti with your W engaged there. There's no reason not to. Okay, so now Talon's coming down here. You can see Pikes here. You can't necessarily use your W for the Pike though. That's fine to do that, then E dash back over. Okay, that's fine. Good decision to do W on the Talon there rather than the Pike. Ashe is overextending a little bit here. Kaiser's managed to buy and go back into the lane. And you got a little while until, yeah, it's gonna stay until your ulti comes up. Now Ashe arrows and cooldown, you definitely can't engage until that comes back up. What I would be thinking of here, now Ashe's arrows and cooldown, it means you won't be able to get an engage off down on bot side. So you're either gonna have to use your ulti defensively down on bot side now, or you can look to roam mid and get a kill there with the Veigar's burst damage with the CC setup that you can do there. I would personally look towards roaming maybe. Because this Ashe seems to be not as mechanically skilled as the Kaiser in lane. Wait. I don't think you need to die there at all. What actually happened here? So Pike interrupts the recall. You would have heard the you would have recalled there. If you didn't cancel your recall there, you would have got the recall off, by the way. You should be doing you shouldn't be trying to stun the Pike there. You should be trying to do a max range W to get out of that situation as quickly as possible. Yeah, that was an unnecessary death. Try and pay attention to when you're recalling. Just gonna rewind it. So Rengar's coming down here. You got 3 people on this tower. It's technically a 3v2 right now. I would be pretty concerned about coming into this. Okay, now they're tower diving. E the Ashe straight away here. Then just you have no ulti, so you need to W the Rengar. The Rengar should die here. Okay, good. And yes, Senpai it is. Nice try on the engage. It's difficult without your ulti. You're just going to have to leave it off there. Just pushing the lane in as quickly as possible. Got a good opportunity here to do the dragon, which has been pinged by your team. You could either push in this wave in straight away and then do dragon, which I think is a slightly better option because it gives you a little bit more lane priority. Okay, that's a good ward on the enemy red buff. Let's do this down as quickly as possible. It's a shame. Yeah, you've got a control ward. It should be put in the pit. Even when you see that ward being put over by Pike, you don't put a control ward in there. Whenever you're doing any objective, Dragon, Herald, Baron, control ward in the pit all the time. All the time. That's a really bad smite there from Shyvana as well. So Pike actually had a chance to seal that as well. Always control the objective. Okay, at this point here, just like, there's no way you can really help here. That Veigar's dead. Just turn around straight away. I don't know why Ashe is doing the red buff, but... Put a ward here. You've got a ward charge here, actually. You should put one in that brush while you're that deep in the jungle anyway. And deny them that Scryer's orb. Good job. But when you're at this brush here, you should just put the ward in there straight away anyway. Senpai, if you could please calm down, because this is a paid coaching session. So yeah. I would ask you to respect other people's gameplay that they've literally paid to ask for help. That Ashe is now in Pyke execute range. Just be careful what Pyke looking like he's gonna try and... Good W block there as well in the Kaiser W. Just be careful what Pyke looking at an execute engage with his ulti. You guys need to recall real quick though. Okay, now Rengar's mega overextended. Yeah, you got flash and ignite. You don't need to flash here. Does W and ignite straight away here. It's actually a really good W. Ignite straight away though. Ignite, 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 ignite. Rengar gets full heal off there. You're running out of mana and you won't have enough W. Hit those berries if I were you and get your mana back up rather than chasing here, because you're going to be useless here if this fight does continue on. Just hit this berry bush here and just get like at least like 3 berries just to get your mana back up quickly, because I think it replenishes like 80 mana per berry. So just think about here, like you just need to get back as quickly as possible. Ashe has no mana, you have like no mana and half HP. You just want to get out of this situation now. That Talon's looking like he's coming down. You just need to recall. You can't be here. Don't let the Shyvana keep you here either. Just recall. Because you literally can't provide anything to your team. Yeah, good. You're as good as dead if you're just standing there with 0% mana. Okay, so what did you actually buy? Wait, what did you have? You bought the Aegis, right? Aegis. Oracles. You're going for Zeke's. I think before 9.2, Zeke's first would be fine. From what I understand, what players are having to do, pro players are having to do since the Rakan W nerf, I think you have to go Shuria's first. And then you can go Zeke's to make up for the lack of movement going into fights. Something to think about. Not 100% sure on that because these changes only just happened. But definitely, if you are maining Rakan, definitely look into Shuria's first, then Zeke's. But Zeke's first definitely was priority before 9.2. But just, I would say, try that out a little bit there as well. If you've been struggling getting in and out of fights and things, like engaging fights with the W change. And yes, these coaching sessions will be going up to YouTube in a few days. Uh-oh. Okay, yeah. I can see why you're trying to flank in, but if you're watching this fight the whole time, you should be looking to E someone here straight away rather than coming through for a flank. Like, if you had your eye on the situation here straight away, you should have been able to just get to this Ashe straight away and just E her straight away. And then it would be a quick, like, Alt W. You've got your ulti ready. You can still help the situation here. Ulti. Ult first. Try and always ult first. I think Shyvana could have cleaned that up. Although Pyke's ulti's up. Maybe not. But you should be ulting first anyway in those sort of situations. Okay. I think if Pyke was better, Shyvana would already be dead. But just try to always use ult then W. Try not to hold back on using your ultimate. That seems to be a thing. You seem to like hold back, choose not to use your ultimate. Like here for example, you've still got your ulti ready, but you need to be using it like straight away here to help out this Shyvana. But you've used it now. Hold on, let's just find out what was on cooldown here. So your E, everything's up here at this point here. W's in cooldown for 10 seconds. The flash is up is ready. W's in cooldown here. You should be looking to help out this Shyvana by Eing to her, ulting, killing off the Kaiser really quickly, and then switching over to the Pyke and trying to CC him from there. Yeah, there seems to be like a lot of mechanical issues here I'm having here as well. So you always want to be looking to E to someone to help engage into the fight quicker anyway, rather than just doing W first. Like that instance there, you could have easily just done E over to the Shyvana really quickly, popped your ulti, CC'd the Kaiser really quickly, then another E charge back over to the Shyvana, and then use your ult to CC the Pyke as well to stop him from coming in properly as well. I think just needs to be a little bit more urgency using your spells and fights, if that makes sense. You seem to be holding back on using all your kit for these fights. I think just push this. You're gonna have to recall now though. You can't really push this in with her. You've got to kind of go back and get mana, and you can't follow up that arrow really. It's not a great arrow. You're running low on mana. How much money are you on? You're 660 gold. Yeah, okay. I'm just going to rewind it even more here, just because I have an issue with you just standing here in the lane farming, actually. So here in this situation here, when Pyke just gets away here, lane's actually technically even. There's 7 minions here, 7 minions here that haven't, and all of them are full HP. You could just leave this wave here, and then just start doing macro. You could just easily, dragon's up in 1 minute 30. You could just start clearing out wards, getting wards around the dragon that's going to be spawning. That's probably going to be the next objective to do. Especially because like your jungler and your mid lane are dead anyway. So you have no priority over Herald over the next minute and a half. So your the next objective that your team can take is dragons. So as Pyke's running away there, he's definitely like got away. There's no way you can catch him. You want to like clear out wards, get wards around the dragon, recall, come back in with full wards. Probably put your controlled somewhere, like probably in this pixel brush would be quite nice, or even in the pit, but pixel brush would be quite nice because it will set up the warding again. When you come back into base, you might need to do some rewards. And then when you do actually do the dragon, just put your controlled into the pit and secure it as well. It's all about securing objectives here. Just taking the CS is kind of just like a bit meh. Not even sure if you're getting all the CS, you missed like half of it as well. You're much better off just securing the river and for the dragon objective here at this point. Okay. You've got no mana. You've got no ulti. You can't actually help out here. Should have tried to use that blast cone just to get out that you've a little bit better there, but... So yeah, now you're recalling, you have no vision over this area of the map at all. This entire area of the map is now like in fog of war when you could have had it lit up with wards. So you complete your Zeeks. One thing I want to see you use on the Zeeks is actually switching it over to a target, like constantly. Because there's no cooldown on Zeeks unless you actually ulti. You always want to make sure there's someone near you with your Zeeks charge so you get the passive bonuses there. So your jungler's already dead. You have no priority over dragon right now. Okay, so your priority right now is to keep this Veigar alive. He's definitely going to get engaged on. Talon has come in and Rengar's popped his ulti. You have everything up apart from flash. If I were you, I would try and put Zeeks on this Veigar as quickly as possible. So you would get, both of you would get the passive from the Zeeks. The main thing you're looking for here is the AoE slow from yourself. You want to like come into this fight here, E the Veigar, When he does get jumped, press like your ulti as soon as possible to charm both of these dudes up. Then W on the spot and then try and E away to the Vega. Hopefully he's running towards the tower at that point. That's what I want to see here. So E dash here is proper. You want to use your ulti straight away. Ulti first. Slowly he gets to walk away from here though. He actually did a really nice cage. You haven't used your Zeeks on anyone yet. You need to put your Zeeks on someone. Like the Ashe here is the best choice, but you need to have it on someone. That Talon's kind of caught out there, but I'm not 100% sure you can go for it. I don't think you can actually engage. Okay, Kaiser's now was the one to get arrowed here. You want to pop everything. Ulti needs to come off straight away and ignite. You're running away. There you go, ulti did a good job there. I think you could have had a roll here too. It's actually really random and nice that Kaiser got Ashe arrowed here. Even after this point, you should be popping R anyway. You haven't got Zeeks or anyone here still though. So you wouldn't get the AoE slay. I think you're too quick to run away from this fight. You are full HP even with your passive shield up and you're running away. I think you could have had a little bit more involvement there. If you use your controllers yet, you're walking around with 2 controllers, but you haven't used one yet. Shyvana is currently looking to do the dragon, which you should be paying attention to. But they've just popped Herald topside, so you can't actually go and help with the warding a dragon. You need to go to topside, which you're doing correctly. No, it's a shame that no one else on your team has come up for this yet, and I'm kind of surprised the enemy isn't pushing in either. This rotation you're doing was fine. It's just a shame no one on your team is following you. You can't really get stuck here for too long though. Right, now you need to move out of this situation again. You need to get in here and help as quickly as you can. You still don't have Zeeks on anyone. Like E dash, okay, E to the Vega is fine. Then you want to E to Shyvana. Pop your ulti and then W whoever you can. If the Pyke's still in range here, it could maybe be worth it if you saw him use his E dash. Otherwise it's Teemo. Teemo is probably the easier pick here. You're out of position here. You got E up, yeah. You still got those 2 controllers with you. Like for example, when you were like running through your jungle, you could have put a defensive controller here since you guys are a little bit behind. So yeah, I would have put a controller here. You got to make sure you're warding as you're moving as well. Don't just like tunnel vision on like the team fight or the objective thing that's happening. You got to make sure you put wards down as you're running. So get that vision secured as you're moving. Unlucky ward. It's fine to set up Baron, but you got double Mountain Drake, but your team composition is okay to do as well. The Cassiopeia in particular has got a lot of single target damage, but you really need to get a pick or 2 off first before you think about it. Oh yeah, and I just noticed that, yeah, the Cassiopeia's build is probably not the best either to do Baron. That's a good ward there. Shame it gets taken out straight away there though. Setting into a little bit of an ARAM. Your Ashe just got caught off topside, it's not your fault though. I hate these games where it just turns into ARM. I think it works out better for your team though. Your team has a decent late game with the Cassie and the Vega in particular. So if this game does end up boring like this with the ARAM, it's actually works better for your team. So you can just sit here and just chill. The longer this game goes on, the more beneficial it is for you. Also, Vegas been playing relatively okay as well. Yeah, you don't really want to engage here. It's just fine. Just chill.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Okay, you're coming up to this top side fight. Cass is dead. She's got no mana there. You're not going to help her. Okay, so now they've got a kill on your top laner. They're either going to push in top tier 2 or they're going to try and like secure Baron vision. There's not really a whole lot going on right now. Okay, you kind of need to stay here and defend. This is defendable. They can't dive you. They can't dive Rakan at the tower. I think staying with Ashe here is fine because you can't go from top to middle because the Rengar's got full control of your jungle. And if Rengar finds you, you're dead by yourself. Okay, you shouldn't be here farming though by yourself though. I know Ashe should have pushed in this wave in here, but you gotta just stay with the Ashe here. There's no point you CSing under tower by yourself. The team actually does need your CC quite urgently. There's a lot going on there. There's another dragon now to take. Okay, you just okay, Shyvana just killed their jungler. She's doing a really good job right now. I don't think you can recall. Wait. I know you probably have. You have a little bit of cash. You have no more normal wards. You can't recall here because the Shyvana's fighting the dragon. Like right now you have dragon priority. And it looks like the Talon tried to engage on the Cassie there, so you should have cancelled your recall there anyway. Like right now you need to prioritize and getting vision around this dragon. Shyvana just died, so now never mind, no you can't anymore. So you definitely lost the dragon. So while they're all at the dragon, then you want to try and clear out any wards around the topside river while they're all busy down doing the Drake.
Blue team has slain the dragon.
Ward in the middle of the lane here to see where rotations are coming through will be pretty important here as well. Yeah, there's no objective to fight around over here, so there's no point popping oracles on this side of the map. You want to pop it on this side of the map to make sure you can clear out wards for their Baron. I'm not too sure why you put a ward there though. That ward's not going to tell you a whole lot. Because you can't even see around that corner there. I'm not sure what that ward is. Okay. You haven't popped your ulti yet again. Your ulti's still not being used. You're using your ulti to get away. Like if you are going to come in here and help them here, you need to pop everything. So yeah, the E dash there is fine, but then you need to like press R and W in straight away. Then like try and CC whatever targets you can, then get out yourself. You need to be using your ultimate. You keep holding it for like forever and then nothing happens with it. So effectively, like the only reason Rakan is played is because of his ultimate. He's honestly like his kit is really bad in general. The only thing that makes Rakan really strong is his RW combo. And I haven't seen that once from you yet. So you really need to make sure that you're doing that. And yeah, there's no vision around the objectives now. They found that control, and the entire Baron is now dark view. You bought a redemption. I think you need to buy Shuridas still with Rakan, like we mentioned earlier. So I think you can go like Shuridas then into Zeke's here. Redemption's an okay item, but I wouldn't really like... I would probably personally would like consider an Ardent Censer maybe for the Ashe, or maybe even a Zhonya's for yourself to stop, like, you've got 3 assassins there, so Zhonya's could get you some use here as well to block, especially like the Pyke ulti, and mess up his combos with that. Wait, what are you doing when the Ashe arrow comes through? Like, that Ashe arrow is very clearly loudly played. Okay, you are following up with it, good. Right, then you need to be... Okay, you need to... Whenever an ulti like that has been used, you need to be ready to try and follow up. Ashe engage with her arrow, so you need to look straight away. Can we follow up on this play at all? This guy is now in a cage, stunned, and then he got a big cage around him. The only way he gets out of this is if he flashes out, and his flashes don't cool down. You should be helping in a situation. Talon should be dead. That was that a cast ulti coming out there? No. But when this Ashe arrows come out here, you should be coming on and straight away following this up. This should be like you Eing over to... You could, like, in theory... I don't... the range is lower because of the... There's no car circles. Pretty sure you're almost an E. E range to the Ashe. So E to the Ashe. Then to the Veigar if you need to. Pop your ulti if it's up. And then UW, or just pop your W. And then just whack your Ignite on. Get that Talon down quickly. That means you got 4v5 situation around the Baron buff. So it means you either get a high chance of either getting tier 1 or Baron control, or both. But you won't get Baron, but you'll get the control around it. Okay, now you guys are now 4v5 down. Your jungler's bot side as well, so they could call to do Baron. Now you've died. Try not to fight by yourself out there. Kaiser could have killed you 1v1 really easily there if she decided to. Nice EW attempt there. But once again, you've got your ulti, you're not using your ultimate. Like here, you need to be following up with your team. It seems like you're I don't know if you play music when you're playing. I would highly recommend. I don't know what's distracting you here from not following up on teammates' engages that are happening. But I would advise you to turn any in-game music off and maybe turn in-game sounds up a little bit. That you should be hearing this coming up, because in my eyes it looks like you've got like the camera like focused like over here when all of this stuff is going on, but you would hear this stuff anyway with sound effects. So make sure yeah, make sure you can hear what's happening on the map as well. Veigar's caught, you can't have that. Ashe arrow used. Okay, so you definitely can't do any engaged play then. You've got no arrow and your Veigar's dead. So you just have to do defensive vision. Ward here, so you can see which way they're going for. If you put a ward here, you can tell straight away if they're going towards the Baron or if they're going to go towards the Drake. So I think you can do in any of those situations there, that's your teammates getting caught off one by one. Don't defend the inhib. The only thing you can kind of do in this situation here is once the pressure's eased off slightly, You want to try and get like a defensive line of wards towards Baron, so you know that you can walk towards the Baron and then have a ward ideally in the Baron, if that makes sense. So like a ward here, a ward there, maybe like a control ward here, and then like a normal ward at the back there. And try and have 2 control wards up as in your bags as well, because if you put a normal ward into the pit and they've got and if they have a control ward in the Baron, then you wouldn't have any vision of this if they have started this, if that makes sense. So you kind of always want to make sure you have 2 control wards in your bags. Okay, you need to follow this up like right now. There needs to be some urgency here. You have flash. I would just R in here. It's a shame that you got stunned by the Rakan. Okay. It's a decent cut. Cassie ulti. Just pop your ulti. Ooh. Yeah, that's what I mean. You're too careful in using your ultis. So every time you've used your ulti now, it's just been too late. So you get no use out of it at all. Got nothing to add here on this. Okay, I want to spend time talking to you about things rather than keep analyzing this game, because it's just the same thing happening over and over again. Okay, got about 15 minutes. Okay, I want you to seriously think about changing what champion you're playing at the moment. I think that if your main concern is climbing in solo queue, I honestly feel like right now Rakan isn't necessarily a champion for you, and it doesn't help at all that he's got massively nerfed to 9.2. You have been landing W's when needed, it's just that your ulti's just like, you need to RW way more often, and don't leave it so late, because you're getting no worth from it at all. Honestly, if you want to play hard engaged support, play Leona. She's stronger right now. She's easier to play, and you can ult engage way easier than Rakan at the moment. And also her builds aren't like as funky either. I would honestly truly recommend that you play Leona. She's the closest thing viable from Rakan. Once again, if you do play like Leona, use your ulti. Make sure you're using your ulti mid-game onwards to engage in the fight. If it's a bad ulti, you don't need to follow up. But Leona's ulti is really low cooldown as well. So that is my like big recommendation to you. I think Rakan is out of your depths at the moment. I can appreciate that you're enjoying playing him quite a lot, but I would focus on learning how to play engage properly, which you can do on Leona, and then playing the harder engages like Thresh and Pike and Rakan and Alistair. Like Leona is very strong right now and rewarding to play, and she will teach you the basics of engaging, because this seems to be like the main issue that I'm noticing as well, is that fighters are breaking out, you're too slow to react, and then by the time you do use your ulti to react, it's just that the fight's like over. Like you could have used it earlier to decide those fights. I like the positivity in you buying control odds, however you're not using them, so that's a big thing as well. Like when we were around over here at the dragon, you took too much damage from the infernal drake as well. You should be putting down your control odds for those objectives when you're doing them, because just that security. Like the Shyvana messed up a smite there, and the Pike nearly stole the Drake because he had vision over it. Just stupid stuff like that can tilt people like crazy as well. Always put control wards down for the objective. Always put wards down when you're moving from objective to team fights to whatever you need to do. Just try and always get wards down constantly. Just like constantly feel like you're just flinging wards around as you're moving around. Sprinkle the map with some light, because it really does need it a lot of the time as well. I will add that yes, your Ashe landed a couple of good arrows, but overall she definitely was getting outplayed during the laning phase. But then again, so are you. So I will add that as well. Thing is, I start to lose, I start more worrying about not feeding than making plays. Okay, think of this situation. Let's break out the KDA. Yes, dying less is generally deemed as a good thing. And don't get me wrong, dying less is generally a good thing. But if your team is losing, and at this point quite heavily, something needs to happen, and you need to analyze a mistake or try and make a trap in your own jungle and coordinate that with your team to win a team fight that way. Because if you keep sitting back and doing nothing when you're losing, you'll just keep losing. Whereas if you try and change something up and actually try something, two things will happen. You'll lose faster, or you'll actually start winning the game. There's no point just sitting back and losing unless you have an ultra like coordinated high scaling team. Like say if you had like the Veigar's a good indicator here for that, but the rest of the especially with like looking at the Cassiopeia's build, you have nothing else that's going to scale properly into late game here, and just putting all your eggs on Veigar is a little bit probably too much with their team composition with like 3 assassins there. So yeah, if you're losing, you need to change it up. Like if you're losing bot lane, you need to try and gank mid, because that was the situation you're in there as well. Like your Ashe was messing up quite a lot on the bot side as well. So you should have been looking at working even. Shyvana was playing pretty well, to be honest. You could have maybe, you did play with her a little bit with the Drakes, which was nice to see. But maybe taking that further, maybe going into mid as well for your ult ganks and stuff could have worked out quite nicely there as well. I'm just going to check on your runes as well, like I did with Nasha for the last coaching session. And I'll take any questions from Twitch chat in about 5 minutes, okay guys? I just want to finish up this coaching session. I know you're all eager to talk to me. Okay, I would change future market to stopwatch. That would be my big change here. Or you might want cookies for the lane. Also, you need to think about taking blue item a little bit more often as well. You do need to decide whether you feel like you can get auto attacks off or not. That is the big factor. Usually against another melee support, usually you can get enough gold income because of the auto attacks. But so yeah, this game I personally would have taken blue GP5, but in a lot of games you do want to take coin and Rakan. Nimbus Cloak is obviously a must-have. Scorch is okay. You could switch that for water walking though, if you're trying to get more on the roaming mentality. Celerity, not really 100% sure about this rune at the moment. I think it's probably your best option though. I mean, you've got Celerity or Transcendence. There's probably no point going Absolute Focus. So yeah, you're probably, it's okay. Celerity's fine, sure. Yeah, you can go Guardian on Rakan as well. I personally prefer Airy. You can go Guardian, that is a secondary option build. You could go like, or whatever. There's no point going too much into that, but you can do a Guardian build if you really want to. With sorcery secondaries, because you need to make sure you have Nimbus Cloak in your build. Also that game, I think if you had no chance to roam in by that point, you probably would have wanted to consider Ninja Tabi as well, since they are basically like 4 ADs there, or 3.5 if you want to call the Kaiser half AP. So like you might want to change your to Ninja Tabi later on, but yeah, that one was a hard game to give you a really good coaching session on, because it seemed like you were struggling a lot on the champion as well, and knowing when to go in and things like that. I would highly recommend you play Leona. I think that would help you out a lot, and then you can come back and revisit Rakan since you like got some of the basics down. Just don't hesitate on using your ultimate. If you miss your ultimate, it doesn't matter. Then just disengage or get rid of the situation if you're able to. Just, there's only one thing worse than whiffing an ultimate, and it's not using it. So use it. That's what it's there for. The ult is there to make game changing plays. Okay, it's the biggest thing of pretty much anyone's kit, any champion's kit. You need to make sure you use it.